You have 5 seconds before the door is sealed. 5, 4, 3, 2.
What was it about this book that like really drew you to it?
So many things, I think, as a kind of piece of art on its own, it's just so wonderful and such a kind of masterful story. It really, for me, I was looking at kind of in terms of making a movie to make something that just felt like escapism, that you could kind of go into a theater and just like be in a world and feel for an hour and a half. And kind of stop thinking. And that's very much how I felt when I read the book, that I was just completely taken away somewhere. And I thought, I think that's a very rare and wonderful thing.
So I love when we get to actually see the Watchers.
Yes.
Was that what the creation of them? Was that something that you took from the book, or was that like an amalgamation of like your thoughts and what the book was kind of telling you?
I definitely drew from what was written in the book, and particularly the sort of nature of how he sort of kept you from knowing things until a certain moment. And yeah, for me, it was very much like I pulled a lot of imagery and references of just things that scared me, things that I felt were horrifying, and like things I was seeing in my dreams and things like that. So it was a lot of bringing together all of those elements to create what is in the film.
And the cast is obviously just so incredible. But I have to ask, how was it working with the diva that is known as Darwin?
Oh my God. Darwin was actually so lovely. It was a little female bird called Sunshine. She was like lovely. But it was really, I was expecting it to be crazy, and she was just totally a star, like knew when the camera was on her.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. So.
All right, well then I was going to ask you, what was your most challenging part of the movie? I thought it was going to be the bird,
no, not
but
at all.
Apparently not.
Yeah, I mean, challenging, I think it's interesting, like some of the actors might feel this way as well, but the coop scenes, I think, were like particularly taxing in a cool way, because that space was so sort of claustrophobic, and yeah, very kind of like scary to be in a way. So I think that created like this very real, tangible sense of unease when you're in that room.
And I have to ask, what is your favorite horror movie?
My favorite horror movie, I love The Ring.
All right, that's awesome. So you've always enjoyed horror.
Oh yeah, I love
that's
it.
awesome.
Yes.
And what do you hope people take away from this film after they see it?
I mean, I think, I think like in terms of the sort of, like industry context, like I really value the sort of experience of like original cinema, and I think my hope is that there's kind of like still a space for that. So I think that's a big piece of it. And then from the movie itself, I think just the way that like I look at the world is that there's so much kind of mystery and wonder out there, and I hope that kind of for the moment that you're watching it, you can feel that as well.
Mina, you should know there are a few rules. Do not turn your back to the mirror. Do not open the door after dark. Do not go near the burrows.
What was it about the character Sierra that really drew you to her?
It's Kira. I also thought it was Sierra.
Far.
No, honestly, I got to set and I was like, Sierra this, Sierra that, and someone was like, it's Kira. And I was like,
everyone, it's Kira.
I really loved about Kira was I just think she's so fragile and feminine and kind and vulnerable, and I just was very excited to play that, because I don't feel like I play that very often, and I don't necessarily feel like I'm like that in real life either, so it was kind of exciting to be like, how do I approach this woman? How do I kind of understand her and understand how she's got to this place?
Well, between this and Barbarian, we need to stop having you show up in homes and places.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about filming this? Because you're in this like cool house thing, but you're in also different areas within this in the woods. So what for you was the best part of filming this?
I think the sets, it was really fun, like getting inside the coop. They were built in such a beautiful way, and the lighting that we had was gorgeous. They had this big kind of lighting block above the whole of the coop, which could change.
Oh.
So the lighting was changing as we were moving around and things. So I really, really enjoyed that. And we had, you know, a lot of scenes where it was all of us together in the coop, which was always fun when all of us were kind of in there, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And like for me, I know one of my stims is like playing with my hair. And so I was like, oh, your character does that. Was that something that you brought to the character, or is that something that was already like in the book?
No, I brought that. I think it was because I started doing it because I was wearing extensions. So I suddenly had all this hair, and I started doing it myself. And then I was like, oh, this works. I'll just shove this in for Kira. So it kind of naturally, yeah.
Oh, wow. Because I was like, yeah, if I get nervous, I like play with my hair. And I was like, oh, she's.
And it felt quite like little girly kind of like innocence. Yeah.
So now, having done a slew of horror films, what are you excited about people to experience with this one? Because it's far different than Barbarian.
Yeah, I think I think it's really entertaining. I think it's, you know, it's a blend. It's got the horror, it's got the fantasy, it's got the thriller. I think, you know, it's not as hardcore as Barbarian, so I feel like there should be a bigger kind of audience that will appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what people think.
Thank you for watching, and thank you to our sponsors and Patreon producers for making this video possible. Hit the subscribe button so the creepy fun never has to end. This is Hannah reminding you to keep it creepy.